For those who don't know, I've been covering a variety of construction updates as well as deconstruction updates and news surrounding the now permanently closed Six Flags America in Maryland, USA. There's been tons of drone footage over the park by a mysterious, very talented, very good drone pilot, as well as countless TikToks of young kids trespassing throughout the park at night. Plus the Wild Boys MD, they got in, they got a bunch of really cool footage, but they had to remove all of their videos, probably due to threats from the Six Flags Corporation and/or Prince George's County, Maryland, where the park is located. But what if I told you someone else got in? Only for their video, they did it in the daytime, they protected their identity, and they managed to show some really incredible things that even I haven't seen before. I'm also kind of making my video to preserve the footage and video clips that they were able to get, just in case they have to, I don't know, remove their stuff from the internet, just like the Wild Boys did. Regardless, check out and subscribe to the channel, Muted Caffeine, because it seems like they have a bunch of really cool videos about urban exploring. So let's get into the video.
All right, guys, today we're gonna be sneaking into the newly abandoned Six Flags. This place had so much security. They really don't want you in here. But did we pull it off? Of course we did.
Right off the bat, I really appreciate the fact that they included that little stumble and fall at the top of the video. That's some Kenny, please stop vlogging energy, because I'm always tripping and falling and stumbling and bumbling over everything all the time. So I can appreciate this type of chaos at the start of the video. Anyway, as a die-hard Metal Gear Solid fan, I truly appreciate the sneaking around action. They're being very smart. They're watching their, I think it's like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. They're watching their 9 o'clock. They're looking around. They're aware of their surroundings. They're sneaking and running and moving and blurring their faces. Another very important little note there. They're concealing their identity. So they're kind of coming in on the backside of the park by the corner of where Gotham City is. So they're coming in by the Penguin Raft ride and the Wonder Woman lasso scary ride that I don't like. I don't like it anymore. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not really sure about the exact time of this recording, but I definitely think it's sometime in the winter, fall-ish area. So like right after the park had closed, or maybe right into 2026, like January, February. Because most notably, the Batmobile is still there, which went missing around late April, early May, per this amazing drone footage, again, sent to me anonymously. Speaking of anonymous stuff that was sent to me, I was also sent a picture of the Six Flags America Batmobile, which is backstage at the Six Flags Great Adventure in Gabagool, New Jersey. Again, this was sent to me anonymously. I protect my sources. So if you have any fun little pictures, video clips, whatever, anything that you want to send me that is Six Flags America related, here's a little email right there, send it to me. And you'll notice too that there's a couple little blur marks on the Six Flags America Batmobile because it looked like some jabroni urban explorers tagged it with their little @ symbol @ whomever, jabroni.biz. Like I've said before, and I will continue to say, there are no free rides on this channel. I'm not gonna plug your stuff. I'm gonna blur it out. So screw you and your jabroni Instagram, TikTok accounts. Yeah, I'm a little bit salty because they tagged the Batmobile. You don't do that. You don't do that at Six Flags America. Okay, maybe you do, but because Six Flags America was a scumbag park. It's my favorite park, but you know, I can say that. Getting back to Muted Caffeine channel here, they eventually make their way along the Joker Jinx, the roller coaster and its track. It's definitely kind of giving off some backrooms theme park vibes, you know? I had no clue how long that opening liftoff was, probably because I think they like shoot you out. Sorry, they did shoot you out. Past tense here. I gotta keep working on my past tense because the park doesn't exist anymore. It just exists in my mind. They shot you out at like 60 miles per hour or something like that. I didn't really have any concept of how long that opening shoot off was, but it's quite a a walk there.
Yo! Okay, let's just be careful of these things.
It's funny, they just got to the very end and they're like, well, I guess we're gonna walk back down the scary tunnel roller coaster shaft again. They even make it over to the defunct kids area, which closed long before the permanent closure of the park in 2025. So I believe that this little train right here that they're walking by, it was initially themed with a Thomas the Tank Engine face. And at one point I think they just ripped it right off, right? They just popped that face right off. Because I think they lost the licensing rights to it. So per Six Flags Wiki, Six Flags America had the rights for 1 year back in 2012 for Thomas the Tank Engine. And then they had to remove it and rebrand it back in 2011. So this is super rare stuff that we don't normally see with this park. So it's kind of cool to see that they were able to get to this area and kind of, well, here it is, here's the old train thing. Our adventurers eventually make their way over to the Wild One and Firebird.
Yeah, that did sound like a car door.
They call cops. Cops are drones.
Are they heat-seeking drones? Great. How would you think they already know we're here? Let's just take it real quick and... Okay.
My boys they're risking it all for a sick pic and footage on the Wild One track. Gotta respect that.
I won't go much further because... Wait. I got a fire picture of you.
As an old man who used to do a lot of urban exploring and sneaking in and breaking in, I kind of still do that. In fact, here's something I got from one of my recent adventures. This is I think like a Rastafarian Jesus. I'm not entirely sure. I found it in a church, an abandoned church, though. Makes me think this is like a wooden Jesus. Anyway, I'm an old man, so I get a little nervous watching these kids scale fences and things, especially because just earlier at the start of this video, the kid fell. So I'm like holding my breath as he's trying to leap over this fence here. Impalement, impending. But I don't want to give too much away here. If you want to go see all the stuff, all the little details, just go watch their video. Highly recommend it. Before it's gone, who knows?
It's even more haunted looking now that it's abandoned.
But I will say they eventually make it over to the Hall Manor, the real abandoned house on property, which allegedly is haunted by a little spooky specter named Eleanor, a little girl that died there when she was like 2 or 3. There's like a little gravestone. Made a whole video about it. It's very creepy, but very cool. So they kind of make it over to that area where there used to be a haunted house around there. So that was very cool. I don't think I've seen that in like ever. They didn't spend too much time in one particular area. They're always like looking around and double checking, making sure nobody's following them or they're listening. Like, is that a cop? Is that a drone? We don't know what that is. It's not a drone that I know anything about. So yeah, they didn't stay in one place for too long, and they eventually just ran out of there and like, we're done, we're gone, goodbye. They didn't overstay their welcome.
What?
But guess what? They went back another day and got some more footage. This time they entered in around the steampunk town, right along where the old Rapids ride with the dinosaurs was. They even got under Screamamore's Sky Vinder, which was like the Mind Eraser at one point, which I think was voted as like the worst roller coaster in America. Yeah, that's what Six Flags America had going for it. A really terrible roller coaster. It was not a good ride. Even when they rebranded it and tried to like fix it. No, I don't care. I don't care. You can come at me in the comments and be like, oh no, it was a really good roller coaster. And you know what? You're wrong in that situation. It was not a good roller coaster. Mind Eraser, you know what? Even though I consider that ride terrible, I would still ride it right now. Okay, if they reopen the park and be like, listen, you can ride one ride, but it's only this ride. I'd be like, fine, I'll do it. But because I get to go back into Six Flags America, I would do it. Terrible ride.
Oh, this is stupid!
Let's go up this fast though, because we're exposed.
Our boys accidentally trigger an alarm of some kind.
We gotta go. Go, go, go.
I don't think that was actually an alarm, though. It may have been. It made a noise, which, you don't want to have happen when you're in an abandoned place illegally. I think that was actually a sensor on the ride. Now, if I remember correctly, when you're kind of like leaving the start of that ride when you're on a raft, there's a very loud sensor that kind of goes off, which I think alerts ride operators that the raft is leaving or something. I don't know. So I don't know if that was a security sensor or what, but either way, they hightailed it. They got out of there. Again, very smart. They got in late and they left early, which I really appreciate. That's a good film thing, okay? It's any aspiring filmmaker screenwriters out there. Write this down. Get in late and leave early. Anyway, this was a short video, but I really wanted to preserve some of this footage, really wanted to talk about some of it and recommend people to go over and watch it. Because as of this recording in late May 2026, there is still no word, no concrete information about what they plan on doing with the property now that it has been bought by Kevin Durant and his investment firm. It's kind of a mystery at this point. All we know is that a lot of the rides in the IP from that park is being removed and sent to other parks, most notably the Six Flags in New Jersey. They're having a whole new boardwalk area that's about to open very soon. It has, I think, 4 or 5 rides from Six Flags America there. So they're reusing that stuff, and it's only a matter of time before I think a majority of the smaller rides at Six Flags America are completely taken apart and moved to other places. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they can save the Wild One, save Superman Ride of Steel, rebrand it the Slim Reaper. That was a suggestion for me. I'm giving you that, Kevin Durant, okay? Call it the Slim Reaper, presented by Kenny Johnson. Maybe not presented by Kenny Johnson, it can be like a name recommended by the Please Stop Vlogging guy. That's kind of funny. Just gonna throw that out there. I'm just gonna throw that out there for Kevin Durant. So will I be going back in the future to do some on-the-ground reporting about Six Flags America? Yes. Here comes a cop right now. So I have no clue. I'm gonna get off the main strip here because if you watch some of my older videos, you know that I was accosted by some Six Flags goons that said they were watching me. And you know what? I'm not afraid of Mr. Six and his goons, okay? You should be afraid of me. You don't warn me, I warn you. This is not the end, okay? This aggression will not stand. So stay tuned. I'm going back and I'm getting to the bottom of it. I'm gonna figure out who exactly accosted me, who threatened me, who warned me. Because again, I do the warning, you don't do the warning. I do the